Bleach. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Part 2 ended with a troll named Khan who decided to end part 2. Like, it was such a weird way they wrapped up part 2, both on a cliffhanger and then they just trolled us. But truth be told is, you know, when I hear that, oh, we're getting 39 and 40, we're getting 2 separate episodes, they're really gonna cook. And they did. Content was great, but, you know, we end on a pretty big bombshell. It's like, oh shit, you know, that group looks like they completely dead. Old Yokai Watch ain't playing around. Even without the Almighty, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. And then the credits play, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but there's still like, what, 6 minutes left? And then handsome Squidward pops up. That's really what he looks like, is handsome Squidward. And they trolled us for a second time. Now, technically what he said wasn't like pointless, but there is padding the runtime, and then there's padding the runtime just to mess with the viewers. And I really think they're purposely doing it at this point, because between part 2 and part 3, they have both ended equally with me saying there's no way they ended it like that. It's hilarious. Like, at the end of the day, what they probably could have done is just did one longer episode. Like, this is the first time out of 3 cours we've had more than 13 episodes. As when this was announced, we knew it was going to be 52 episodes total, 4 cours. So 13 episodes every cour is what we were assuming. This time we got 14 episodes, and this was officially 39 and 40. What they could have done is they could have just cut the opening and ending, cut out the troll ending at the very end, and you could have probably functioned with like a 35 minute episode. But at the end of the day, am I mad that they split into 2? No, it's just, there's no way they troll us for a third time by the end of Cour 4. Like, that's when it's all over. There's no way they pull off yet again another one of these endings. But a part of me kind of hopes they do, because maybe it's just tradition at this point. But either way, fantastic resolution to everything. And hell, they even confirmed that Ishita isn't actually bad, which is what I was initially hoping back when everything first kicked off. Yeah, so a lot to talk about, but Jesus, I can't believe they got me a second time. Of course, I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full and good thought to any of this Bleach greatness. You know, it's over there exclusively. So yeah, this was, you know, surprising. When they initially announced there was an extra long episode, I was like, oh, like, it's probably just gonna be an extra long episode. Like, I was just assuming it was gonna be like a 30-minute episode, and then I started hearing rumblings that we were gonna get 2 episodes, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be, it's gonna be frustrating, because people are gonna be divided on if it's just all 39 or 40. Thankfully, Hulu episodes themselves list them as 39 and 40, so there's no confusion, but I've seen that happen before, so thankfully they made it as easy to digest as possible. So between the 2, I would say 39 was probably my favorite. And I think it's because they did something I always want to see. And I think I'm not alone when I say this, which is often when it's a horror movie, I think it's especially atrocious when it comes to horror movies where it's like they killed the villain, but then they just kind of walk away. Or a lot of times, right? But I understand why they don't do it, because it's usually twofold. One, the story would be over too quick if they made sure the person was down for good, there'd be no continuation. And 2, often it's just people are sociopaths, psychopaths that are going to continuously stab something after they think it's dead, right? It's just not in human nature. So what ends up happening is Jared over here gets bodied. And then what happens is something that I can't remember the last time I've seen happen. Buddy comes in and blows his head off. And that alone would be like a bit overkill, but I mean, that makes sure you're down for good. But they don't stop there. Lightning bolt of death comes down and pierces his heart. And as he says, you can't be too careful. And to be fair, that's any other opponent, that would have been perfect. Apparently, the more damage, though, you do to this guy, the bigger and badder he comes back. But I have to say, like, I've been waiting for character. I don't remember the last, like, I've seen characters finish off and be sure, like, hey, an extra shot or 2 to the head, you know, like, hey, person looks dead, but pew pew, just make sure they're down for good. But it's a lot different when heads get blown off and hearts get pierced by like Zeus's thunder or something. It's just a completely different experience. And another thing that was very interesting, of course, is so we know old Yokai Watch up there, he's kind of doing his thing. He's powering up, ready for whatever chaos he's about to unleash. But in the meantime, Buddy basically has the Almighty in his place. And he pretty much immediately calls out Isha, like, I can see the future, I know you're a traitor. Now, it doesn't quite say it like that, but it's pretty much what's implied. And then Ichigo pops up and he starts firing at him. And I remember initially when it looked like he turned traitor, I said something along the lines of, I'm not going to be surprised if he's trying to wait to get close to do something. And turns out that's exactly what's happening. I'm not saying this is some crazy prediction I did. It's pretty obvious if you've seen enough stories, especially because for when the time Bleach came out, it was a lot more common of a trend back then. So it's not surprising, but it's a welcome revelation because I was not happy with him turning to the dark side, so to speak. And the idea that, you know, he's desperately, especially by the end of 40, trying to say, hey, you should go take this amulet, go back to the Earth realm. I'm gonna do my own thing down here. And of course, the gate's destroyed because he saw everything happening beforehand. And now we're in a situation where, you know, Isha has to go up against essentially the Almighty. And then, of course, Ichigo is going to go fight Yokai Watch up top. So Core 4 is going to be crazy, and from what I understand, Core 4 will have the most original content, like something like 60 or 70% original content. That's how much they're going to expand stuff. So if they've already expanded stuff to the point that manga readers are happy with how they've incorporated new edition, new perspectives, and everything like that, while also adapting what they have enjoyed from the manga, Core 4 is going to deliver. I assume that means we get a 12-episode Core 4 since we got 14 episodes this season, but either way, the production was wild. There was actually this one shot that I really enjoyed, and this is how you know you had good 3D. So there's a very quick, like 3 to 4 second shot of Buddy when he's in giant form. It's a 3D first person, him marching and grabbing, like, I don't know, the top of a building. I wanted to see more of that. That's how you know you had a good production, when I wanted to see more of the first person 3D perspective. That was just such a cool perspective. I don't know, I wanted to see more of it. I felt like I was a Titan in Attack on Titan or something. It was just really cool. Either way, Core 3, without a single doubt in my mind, the best of the 3 cores. I think it was the best produced. I really hope Core 4 can continue the production we had, because while I enjoyed the first 2 cores, I don't think many people are going to argue the fact that it felt like Core 3 had a healthier production. And given what we're about to experience for the finale, I hope they can just give it their all. Obviously, Core 4 has already been announced. It technically already was announced before we even got Core 2 or 3. But, you know, like, they showed the poster image. They got a little preview going, so, like, we know we're getting it. I just assume it will be fall of next year. It's kind of been tradition at this point. But yeah, great final 2 episodes. Just, they trolled me for a second time. I can't keep doing it. If they troll me a third time, if they find a way to troll me with Con or some of these damn characters at the end of Core 4, I don't even know what I'll do at that point. I'll probably just laugh, but yeah, some great stuff. Truly 10 out of 10 Bleach Core, if you ask me. Your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Jonas Pierre, Stephen Thomas, Danny0119, MJ Minion, Azoff Montgomery, MiG021, James Wright, Fox Girl, Gareth Green, and we also have Durberg Jude. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.